So, what if a single theory could connect the physics of a banana to the neurons firing in your brain? Today, we're diving into a source that does just that. It's an ambitious and, let's be honest, a really unconventional unified theory that claims it holds the key to solving some of Earth's biggest problems.
Okay, this quote, it really cuts right to the core of the whole idea. The central claim here is that we don't actually need to invent brand new solutions. We just need to get back in sync with the natural, sustainable cycles that are already happening all around us. It's really a call for a huge shift in how we see our place in the world.
And the ambition here is, well, it's nothing short of a theory of everything. What the source material is trying to do is build a bridge across fields that are usually totally separate. We're talking physics, biology, and philosophy, to tackle what it calls Earth problems.
So what problems is this Philfo hypothesis trying to solve? Well, you can see them here. They're the big ones we all know. But take a look at that last point, disconnection from natural cycles. The theory argues this isn't just another problem on the list. It's the root cause of all the others.
Okay, so how does this framework actually propose to solve all these huge issues? It all comes down to its two core concepts, which the source presents as the engine for the entire system, something called Philfo and Cymatics.
First up is Philfo, which is short for Philosophy, and really the name tells you the whole story. It's trying to merge philosophy, the self, and science. The main idea here is to break down the walls between these different ways of thinking and just view the world as one big, interconnected system.
And the second part of the engine is cymatics. Now, the source takes this idea way beyond just making cool patterns with sound waves. It claims that cymatics is the fundamental creative force of the entire universe. And here's the really wild part. It proposes this force is centered right at the human forehead, and it's capable of creating actual physical biomatter right out of vibrations. So, now that we have the conceptual engine, the theory drills down even deeper, right to the subatomic level. It introduces its own unique set of fundamental particles and a totally different take on DNA to explain how all this is supposed to work.
At the very heart of all this is a particle the source calls the Philfo grace particle. It's described as a kind of reversible Higgs boson, which is a fancy way of saying the theory claims it can both give mass to other particles and take it away, all directed by that creative cymatics force we just talked about.
This table, this is where it gets really specific. You can see one of the theory's biggest claims, a direct one-to-one link between cosmic particles, chemical elements, and our own brains. For instance, it draws a straight line from a cosmic neutrino to the element potassium, all the way to how our neurons function. It's a fascinating, if pretty unconventional way to connect the cosmos with our own biology.
The theory also completely reimagines DNA. It suggests that the standard double helix we all know is just the beginning, just level 1. It introduces this idea of a 5D DNA, which it says is based on essential oils, and even a theoretical 11D DNA that it describes as a higher dimensional structure made of pure vibration.
Okay, so that's a lot of cosmic and subatomic theory. What does any of it have to do with our actual lives? Well, the source brings it right back down to Earth by proposing that every single one of us is part of a massive natural recycling loop.
The source outlines what it calls the 6 life streams. Now, the first 4 are pretty familiar, right? Breathing, eating, drinking, sweating, standard biology. But then it gets cosmic. The theory claims we're constantly taking in neutrinos, creating new matter with our minds, and even weaving something called a cosmic eternity loom. It's a really profound vision of our role in the universe.
And the scale of this natural cycle is just staggering. If we look back at streams 2 and 3, eating and drinking, the source calculates that humanity produces 8 billion kilograms of manure and urea every single day. The argument here is that we see this as waste when we should be seeing it as a cornerstone for a totally sustainable farming revolution. But it's not all high-level theory. There's also a practical, kind of DIY side to this. The source describes a really simple setup, basically a U-shaped tube with salt water on one side, sugar water on the other, and a mineral in between. And the claim is that this simple device can pull ions from the rock to generate a steady electric current, all from stuff you could find pretty easily. So how do all these pieces, from cosmic particles and DIY batteries to our own biology, how do they all fit together? Well, the ultimate goal of the Philfonia system is to connect all of these dots into one single unifying vision of reality.
And this idea of connection is taken all the way. According to the source, everything emits neutrinos, our bodies, the Earth's core, and yep, even a banana. In this worldview, we're all constantly part of a single unifying cosmic flow of particles.
And that brings us to this final really powerful image from the source material. It suggests that the human body isn't just a passive observer in all of this. Instead, each one of us is like a live bioaccelerator, actively interacting with and even influencing the geological and energetic systems of the planet itself.
So after all of this mind-bending complexity, the Philfo system leaves us with one big, provocative question. What if the key to our future isn't about inventing something new, but about remembering something ancient, a forgotten cosmic harmony between us and the universe? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.